Hey there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Puborama, and in today's video, I'll be breaking into the vehicles that I personally love to use when it comes to money grinding in Grand Theft Auto Online. A lot of the videos I post on the channel are vehicles that are fantastic, but sometimes I don't fully use. However, in today's video, I'll be going over the reasons I use specific vehicles for money grinding and what I use them for. So, starting off, we have the F-160 Raiju, which is already in our hangar. The F-160 Raiju is the fastest flying vehicle in the game. Not only does it fly really dang fast, but it also features a hover mode. These two capabilities now make it one of my favorite vehicles for doing any long distance grinding. Now sure, there are ways to job warp and fast travel, but I actually find flying a jet is very fun. Now there is a bit of a disadvantage using the F-160 Raiju, and that is it counts as your personal vehicle. So if I wanted to call out a car or use any one of my personal vehicles at any time, I have to despawn the Raiju, which is a bit of a shame. So that's why it's going into the 5th place slot. It's a nice vehicle, and as I said, it's great for going across the map. What I usually do is, for now, I actually have my spawn location set to the hangar, as you can see. So rather than calling in the jet on my interaction menu going to vehicles, I always instantly hop into my Raiju, fly to where I need to be, and then I have it parked outside my building. So if I have a long distance mission, I can instantly hop into the Raiju rather than calling it out, then having to get out a Sparrow to fly over to the Raiju. It's just a lot of steps that I cut out of the way. When it comes to weaponry, the Raiju is definitely packing some heat. First of all, it has an explosive machine gun, and it's not the best explosive machine gun, but we did just murder about 3 separate families. I mean, it's pretty good. It will still very easily blow up cars on the road, and if you're doing a mission where you need to kill a bunch of people, if the explosive machine gun doesn't get the job done, you still feature homing missiles, and they're pretty lame homing missiles. They're the same one that the Sparrow or the Akula features, but they will get the job done. And what's great is, again, in hover mode, you can very, very easily use this explosive machine gun and absolutely decimate opponents in front of you. And plus, the jet has stealth mode, which means that if you are in a public lobby trying to complete a sail mission, let's say you've got, I don't know, the plane mission for your coke lockup, and you have 2 planes left and you're in a public lobby, well, it's really nice to be able to use the Raiju to fly back over your planes because you can get some unsuspecting people that might try to deal or blow your cargo up trying to get back. So overall, the Raiju, it's a great jet. It's a brand new vehicle, and I'm surprised to be putting such a new vehicle on my list, but I've already been using it for about the past 2 weeks, and I gotta say, it's just fantastic. It's really not the best when it comes to dogfighting, but when it comes to transportation, it's amazing. In the number 4 slot, we have the Ocelot Virtue, which is by far my favorite Amani Tech vehicle in the game. The Ocelot Virtue has a lot of crazy things going for it. First of all, you have the acceleration. This car may only feature top speed of around 120 miles per hour, but it only takes about 4 seconds to get up to 120. That is insane when you think about it. It allows the Virtue to not only have a very fast lap time, but as well just be an absolute blast to drive. So because of that, I have a lot of fun with the Virtue. But not only does the Virtue have incredible speed and acceleration, it's also very well armored. The Virtue's rear is actually completely bulletproof. Even though it looks like this is a very, very simple glass panel, it's not. If you actually take a look, that is completely bulletproof. So the back of the Virtue you cannot shoot through, which means you can only get shot through the front. You'll also notice that this vehicle is super low down, and the center column of the steering wheel eats up a massive chunk of the car. So because of that, it's almost impossible to actually shoot the driver of the Virtue. Not only do you have great survivability against gunfire, but the Virtue also features incredible survivability against explosions. It can survive 10 sticky bombs and RPGs and 12 homing missiles, plus you can run a missile lock-on jammer, meaning that Oppressor Mark IIs, Deluxos, or any flying vehicle that has homing missiles can't even lock onto you in the first place. Oh, and throw on the slick mines, and yeah, the Virtue is absolutely insane. There is really no vehicle in the game, at least that comes to normal ground capabilities, that comes close to the Virtue in my eyes, not only on survivability, but the fact that this vehicle is just so dang fast. So the Virtue, I love it for money grinding. It's great for public lobbies when you want to either help out a friend or complete a sail mission and not want to be blown up while trying to get back and forth between vehicles or, you know, anything like that. It's definitely not the best vehicle for everything, but when it comes to Amani Tech, it is an amazing car. I should also add into the fact that you can get it for absolutely free if you finish the first and last dose missions as part of the Los Santos Drug Wars DLC, so I would highly suggest to do that if you haven't already. In the number 3 slot, we have the Vapid Speedo Custom. The reason I really like the Vapid Speedo Custom is actually quite simple. First of all, it's really easy to access. I go to Vehicles, and it's always the first vehicle on my interaction menu on the Vehicles tab. I don't have to call my mechanic and scroll through my 8,000 garages. I don't have to do any of that. And because of that, it's super easy to get access to my Vapid Speedo Custom, as I said, rather than scrolling through a bunch of garages and trying to figure out where and what vehicle I want to call out. Now, the other reason the Vapid Speedo Custom is such a nice vehicle is because it features the exact same remote minigun, same damage, same everything, as the Tampa, the weaponized Tampa to be exact. So what that means is, for example, this car in front of us, the Obey Ricardo, well, it's dead. Oh look, this Gallivanter Baller in front of us, well, it's dead. Oh look, this car, well, it's dead. This means that the Speedo Custom can absolutely annihilate anything in front of it with relative ease. So whenever I'm doing missions, for example, the Plasma Cutter source mission for the Cayo Perico heist, and I have to go over to steal the Plasma Cutter, I just really quickly call in my Speedo Custom, mow all the people down to the vehicle, drive through, grab the Plasma Cutter, hop in my Sparrow and leave. It's super easy to do, and because of that, it's really nice. As well, the Vapid Speedo Custom, unlike the weaponized Tampa, actually features some bulletproof glass. First of all of this metal on the front counts as solid metal. You can see if I shoot the actual metal, it's not going to damage the occupant whatsoever. That means that dealing with especially AI that don't have the best aiming, it's very solid. But even better than that, the glass itself is semi-bulletproof. So what that means is you have to shoot through the glass for a while before you can actually start hurting the person. So this car has 2 levels of protection. It has glass, and as well, it's got metal in front of the glass. The sides of the vehicle are completely bulletproof, and same for the rear. So yeah, it's really hard to kill the driver. Once again, the glass here is also semi-bulletproof, so you gotta shoot through it before you can actually damage the driver. I really like the Vapid Speedo Custom. It is an incredibly solid vehicle, and I should also point out that it can drop mines, just like the weaponized Tampa, and these are the explosive mines. These aren't your grandma's lame old mines. So if we were, for example, to drive over this mine, we do die. I really like the Speedo Custom. It's cheap, it's easy to get your hands on, and super effective for what it is. Plus, you don't even need to pay for it. It's not like a normal personal vehicle where you have to call MMI to get it back. You can literally just go to Vehicles and once again, wait your 4-minute cooldown to get it back. It's just an amazing vehicle. In the number 2 slot, we got this beast, the Phantom Wedge. Starting off my Broke to Billions account, I never really thought I needed a Phantom Wedge until I was finally convinced to buy one. The main reason why I bought the Phantom Wedge is because of the fact you can use it for the Cayo Perico setup mission, stealing the long fin. When stealing the long fin, you will back up a Phantom, which the game makes you steal, onto, which is the long fin, and then you'll drive it over to the docks after killing yourself to lose the cops. Now, I used to use just the Phantom Wedge that you would steal, but it would take a solid 2 to 3 minutes every time extra to do that. Purchasing the Phantom Wedge was a great investment, because now whenever I do the Cayo Perico heist, which is at least once a day, I can very easily shave 3 to 4 minutes off of what I would have taken to just call in my personal Phantom Wedge. That doesn't sound like a lot of time until you realize that if I do this Cayo Perico heist 10 times every week, that means I'm saving 30 to 40 minutes a week just by owning this vehicle. That means after a month, I'm saving hours and hours of time. I mean, I've easily done the Cayo Perico heist over 100 times. So I've saved at least 10 to 15 hours of my life just on the source mission for the Phantom Wedge. It's actually a rather ingenious idea. Not only does the Phantom Wedge help you with that, but as well, the brand new sale missions when it comes to the hangar also allow you to use the Phantom Wedge if you do the land sale mission, which I would highly suggest to do. You can actually also job warp with the Phantom Wedge when doing that sale mission, making it incredibly easy. The Phantom Wedge was just a super good investment for me because it saved me hours and hours of time on not only the Cayo Perico heist, but as I said, now I've got the land missions for air cargo, which is great. Any mission that you have to use a trailer for, the Phantom Wedge just saves a massive amount of time. So because of that, it's a great vehicle. I would highly suggest to pick one up. And finally, we move into the number 1 position, which a lot of you probably already know what it's gonna be, the Sparrow. I absolutely love the Sparrow. This is the best helicopter and best mode of transportation in the game. There are people that will disagree with me in the comments. They'll say the Oppressor Mark II, they'll say the Raiju. I don't care. I love the Sparrow, and as I said, this is my personal list of favorite vehicles to use for missions, anything like that, and the Sparrow is my number one go-to. First of all, when doing the Cayo Perico heist, this is the easiest vehicle to access in the entire world. You literally just walk to the back of your sub, and voila! You've got a brand new Sparrow. The Sparrow is the fastest flying helicopter in the game currently, although the weaponized Kanata might take that position, we'll have to find out, but the Sparrow actually flies faster than the weaponized Kanata, which is incredible. Not only that, but the Sparrow does feature missiles, and these are non-stop missiles, which is great. It features flares, and very, very fast replenishing flares at that, so if anybody does try to shoot missiles at you, you actually do have some recourse on the flares, and the missiles allow you to actually be pretty decent in retaliation. The Sparrow is great for doing missions when you need to very quickly get a vehicle out, get into the air, and start nuking people with missiles, and it's just super easy because of the fact you can spawn it in wherever you are. You can literally go to the top of Mount Chiliad and call in a Sparrow directly next to you. There's no other vehicles, cars, or really anything in the game that you can do with that apart from CEO vehicles, but that's it. I mean, the Sparrow is incredible in that sense, so this is by far my favorite vehicle for doing missions, for doing literally anything that has to do with transportation. And the best part is when your Sparrow blows up or anything happens to it, you literally can just call a new one in 2 minutes. It's barely even a cooldown. So I love the Sparrow. It is an absolutely glorious investment, and I would highly suggest to pick one up. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and if you'd like to see more like it, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.